All right, so I think we are good to start. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Benson Mwirigi. I'm a teacher here in the US. I teach in the state of South Carolina. Those of you we have interacted before, you know I'm from Kenya. I know sometimes in these meetings, I have teachers from other countries. So I think that's important to mention, okay? So I kind of run a YouTube platform called Diaspora Educators. My intention is to use it, kind of make material that helps teachers in the process of, looking for teaching opportunities in the US. So I've been organizing these webinars once in a while. My intention is to try do one every month so that we can talk, share issues, discuss a few of the issues that concern the processes of coming to the US, okay? So today my intention is to share a few things about teaching interviews. I know many of you are in different steps in the journey of coming to the US. So, but if you've not already done an interview with the school district, the best thing is to begin to prepare yourself. So that's why I organized this webinar. So I'm going to share a few ideas from my own experience. By the way, I'm not an HR. I'm not an HR professional. I'm a teacher by training and practice right now. So what I'm sharing is really from my own experiences, as well as what I've learned from, I've been involved in helping teachers to come to the US since I came myself. So over time, the experiences other teachers also have, we always, almost every day I'm talking with a teacher about coming to the US, looking at CVs, looking at videos, helping prepare people for interviews, and so on and so forth. So from my experiences, from little that here and there, that's the basis on which I'm sharing the material I'm sharing today. So in case you feel you want to see an HR for, maybe more professional advice, feel free to do that, okay? Just making sure guys on the other side, I hope the live is running. All right, so I'm going to, let me present some slides here, and you can tell me if it's clearly visible from your end. Okay. Okay, should be this one. All right. Is my presentation visible from your end?
Yes.
Someone?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so we're talking about, preparing for interviews, especially in the view of being an international teacher. You are outside the US and you are preparing for an interview. Now, these interviews mostly are done by panels. That panel could include, mostly includes a principal, probably a deputy principal, a head of department, depending on which department you're from. And then usually there might be some school district officials. Now, the way that education is structured in the US, is education is, you would say, completely devolved, if I would use a language from my country. So education is actually not run centrally the way, say, the Teacher Service Commission does in Kenya. It's actually run by the states, kind of counties, and then there are also the smaller units that run, the interviews and stuff and recruiting and remunerating teachers is the school districts. Probably it will be the equivalent of sub-counties in my country. So the district, so you may have a personnel, a HR personnel from the district being part of that panel. Now, that is not to say that is what happens all the time. Actually, sometimes you might have even one person or two people. It could just be the principal and someone else. It could be the HR only. But many times, I believe most people will get 3-4 people interviewing them. Actually, let me surprise you. Some teachers don't even get any interviews at all. Like, you just send them a video, like talking about your teaching experience, and they are comfortable with that. So actually, not all teachers who have come to the US get interviews, like one-on-one interviews. A lot of them just are recruited even without an interview. So yeah, that's what happens on this side of life. Okay, so let me run through a few ideas here. Then towards the end, we can, I'll open it up even for you to ask your questions and so on. Yeah. Let me go to the right presentation here. Okay, so why is this an important thing? So you're coming to a place that has different culture. So when you land here, you realize, depending on the country, I really believe whichever country you are coming from, you'll see some differences between your country and the US. So, for example, my country, Kenya, I saw a lot of differences when I came to the US. Different culture, student behavior is different. Students are kind of more assertive here. They speak their mind, and so on and so forth. So having that in mind as you do your interviews, that there are different cultural, situations, is an important thing to do and is important to prepare. Secondly, communication. Like the principal, deputy principal, whichever person is in your meeting, genuinely want to know you. Like they genuinely want to learn about you. This is a very new person from another country. They want to know you are able to communicate with their students, so they're checking for your language as well. So that is why it's absolutely necessary to get prepared for your interview. So the way I see it personally, I would say there are about maybe seven or so areas that usually the interviewers will focus on. And I want to kind of quickly mention them. Then towards the end, I will use more time to just point out a few questions that could arise in each of those situations. All right, so first of all, of course, some background check that they will want to know about you, about your teaching experience and so on. So the first set of questions you will hear in your interview are mostly about yourself, things like tell us about yourself, what is your teaching experience? But I want to defer those kind of questions towards, my second part of this presentation. So the next thing is they want to know about your teaching philosophy. Like, what are your core beliefs as a teacher, all right? Like, do you believe every student can learn, for example? Like, how do you structure your class, your lessons? Basically, your beliefs as a teacher. So they will ask you questions that will tend to bring out what you think your practice as a teacher. The third area that these interviews focus on, and this is a big thing, probably the biggest thing in US classrooms, is classroom management, because behavior is a really big thing in the US. I told you the behavior of students is different. Students are more assertive here. You know, some students will challenge your authority or want to challenge your authority as a teacher or your position as a teacher. So how you manage discipline and your class as a teacher in the classroom to make sure you can, successfully teach a lesson is a big thing. And I don't think there'll be an interview without a question based on classroom management, okay? All right, the next area that is also a very big thing in the US is differentiation. Students in many US classrooms are very diverse. They have very diverse needs, okay? So you might have students with some kind of learning disabilities in your class, students who are maybe learning at a slower pace than other students. And I'm trying to be careful with my language here, by the way, because, it's sensitive language when it comes to talking about maybe students with disabilities. But then when you come, or in your interviews, don't say slow learners. I know that language is sometimes used by students. Slow in the US, students, it's taken like somewhat offensive. So you will need to be keen about the language you also use when talking about this. Or you may have a student who comes from a nation or a country where they're not speaking English. I mean, we have had students in our classes who only speak Spanish or some other language, and they have just come to your class and you're supposed to teach them. So how do you manage that diversity, okay? All right, technology, big thing, big thing in the US. US is very big in technology. Every student in your class will have either a laptop or maybe an iPad if it's the lower classes. Surprise, surprise, even kids in kindergarten are given a laptop or an iPad. So technology is a big thing. So you can expect you'll be asked some questions based on how you use technology in your classes, okay? The sixth area of questions that you could get is about teamwork and collaboration. How do you work with administrators? How do you work with colleagues? How do you involve parents? So that's also a big thing, especially parental involvement, because that's a big thing in the US. You can't really successfully teach students here if you are not getting in touch with the learners. So you need to, you really need to involve parents. You really need to involve parents in teaching their learners, okay? Discipline, which we can kind of pair up with classroom management, but how you, kind of handle challenging situations. You can expect there'll be questions based on that. And then finally, there might be some questions on professional development and other activities outside the classroom that you handle as a teacher. So to me, those are the three, or not three, those are the 8 broad areas that I think most often, to my experience, those are the areas that broadly the interviews will cover. You can expect, okay, there might be other questions outside my broad areas here, but I would say you can expect 95% of your questions most likely will come from some of these areas. Maybe not all, but some of these areas will have questions based on this. And so it's important to prepare yourself on how to answer questions in this area, okay? So what I'm going to do next is, so now I want to take some time and probably dive into each of these. Let me see if, Yeah, what's going on here? Okay. Looks like I had some video playing. All right. So, apologies. I forgot there were people waiting to be admitted. Okay. So let me share some other slide here. So let's talk about this. Share. Someone confirm to me if the second slide is good.
On my side, it's blank.
Oh, okay. I try to figure out.
It is blank also on my side.
Okay.
Blank too. Something is appearing now.
Okay, give me a moment to bring it up. Examples. Okay.
It has gone blank again.
It's loading. All right. What you see now? Something is up?
Yeah. Yeah. Something is visible.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let me get into this. So what I want to do in the next thing here is to kind of okay. I want to pick a few examples of questions that could potentially come up in some of those areas we've discussed. And then okay. All right. Okay, I think he's working fine now. So so before that, a few tips on how to get ready. I hope you can see the tips slide. Is it visible? Top tips.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. Okay. So a few ideas before I talk those about those specific questions that might come up. So number one, please arrive on time. I know this may sound cliche, but you know, your interview, please arrive on time. I've had teachers where they have been, you know, late by 5 minutes, and if you're late by 5 minutes, the interviewers could even have left, or they will be disappointed in you. And guys, you don't really want, you know, to present a picture of getting late for work. So please arrive on time. I've had some teachers miss the interview because they were late, you know, 15, 20 minutes. So completely unacceptable. Please do your best. Of course, sometimes challenges that maybe you did not expect come up, but as much as possible, try to be in good time. Try to arrive to click on your link, because usually they'll send you a link. Click on that link early enough. Usually if you come in 5 minutes before time is really good. They'll let you in. Number two, please do some practice. We usually told if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Please do some practice, okay? So thinking about what we'll share today, go out, look out for more material. It's always good to ask yourself, so suppose I must tell us about yourself. What am I going to say, okay? If I'm asked about how do you differentiate your teaching, what am I going to say? If I'm asked about what technologies do you use in class, what am I going to say? So prepare, have some things in mind, write down a few things. Even if questions may not go exactly as you plan, but being prepared, I can tell you, makes a lot of difference, okay? Number 3, and this is very key, please get stable internet. As much as possible. I know we may have internet challenges back in our countries, but guys, this is an interview. The interviewers need to hear you as much as you want to hear from them. So you really need to make an effort to get stable internet. If you have to move maybe to an hotel, please make prior arrangements. If you have to use internet at school, please make plans. If you're using your own internet, make sure it's very stable. Phone internet, sometimes the challenge I see with that is, suppose someone calls you when the interview is going on. Usually the call will break if another call comes in. So I don't know, if you can get maybe Wi-Fi, I think is so much better. But of course, if you have no choice, then you can use your phone internet. But try to make sure you are in a place with good reception. Number 4, listen keenly. Accents could be different, okay? So try to not miss what the person interviewing you or the people interviewing you are saying. But of course, because, you know, American English versus our own, maybe British, or people speaking in a different accent, people speaking faster, you know, than you. So listen keenly, try to get as much as possible. But in case you don't get something, there's actually nothing wrong with asking the interviewers to repeat. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know, could you repeat that? Could you kindly ask your question again? Things like those. But again, of course, if you keep asking them to repeat, you know, like 10, 15 times, they may feel like, okay, so if this teacher is having a problem hearing us, or what will happen with the student? Okay? So just listen keenly. But if you need something to be repeated, don't fear to ask that, because it's better to ask something to be repeated than to answer the wrong question anyway. All right? Of course, dressing, even if you're appearing on camera, it doesn't have to be a suit, but, you know, professional dress at least. And then lastly, it's also good to prepare to have some questions in mind. Usually at the end, they will ask you, what questions do you have for us? Or do you have any questions for us? I don't think it's a bad idea to, you know, have 1 or 2 things in mind that you could ask them at the end, okay? All right, so those are my 6 tips that I really feel are very important when you're preparing to come on for your interview. So let's talk about a few things that you could be asked in those interviews. So the first thing we said, mostly will be about the interviewers knowing you. So they will ask some questions about knowing you, okay? So for example, tell us about yourself. So I'll ask if you have your mic on, please. Could you mute your mic? Not distracted. So tell us about yourself. So these are first questions here. Of course, they will first welcome you, you know, that kind of thing. And then there are many ways of asking these questions. They could ask you, so why do you want to come work with us? Why do you think you're the best hire or the best fit for our post? But, so all these questions will be about just wanting to know you. So what I'll say is this is an opportunity to sell yourself, okay? You should behave like a salesman here. So sell the best version of yourself. So talk about maybe where you come from, talk about your educational qualifications, achievements, Show them that you really fit the bill, basically, for that. Have in mind that you're competing with other people, so the better you sell yourself. Of course, do not lie, but sell the best of yourself, okay? All right. Of the other questions here, what teaching experience do you have? How does your background prepare you for this role, and so on and so forth? So all these questions will tend to circle around you as a teacher. So please prepare how you can sell the best version of yourself. I hope that is making sense. So for example, my name is Benson. I've been a teacher for 15 years. I did my bachelor's degree at this university. I've been teaching students for this number of years. I'm very excited about teaching physics because of 1, 2, 3 things. I'm happy when students come into my class, this concept, they understand why 1, 2, 3 things happen, such things. So talking about yourself. Now, the next area here is what? So you're teaching philosophy. So there are many kind of questions that could come up here. Most likely they may not ask you what is your teaching philosophy, but even if you ask that question directly, there's a lot you can say. So basically is what do you believe as a teacher? So you could say things like, I believe that every student can learn and I do my best to help every student learn in my class. So I give students opportunities to succeed. I use different ways of presenting my material. I do group works, I do projects, I do 1, 2, 4, 5 things. So all that brings out, what you believe as a teacher, okay? But if this question is asked in other ways, just talk about, how you do your classes, especially your support for students. That's what they mostly will be looking for, okay? Classroom management, the elephant in the room, I would say, in many US classes. So many questions could be asked about how you do your classroom management. So something like, how do you handle disruptive behavior in your classrooms? They will ask you, a student is disrupting your class by being loud, what will you do? All right. So the idea here is to show the interviewers that you're able to manage the person who is being disruptive without breaking the continuity of your class, right? Like you're not stopping everybody else to just focus on that one learner. So that's the big deal. Like, you're keeping your students in what they need to do. Yeah, so talk about how you handle such an issue promptly. Like, you could say, I maybe walk towards the learner because sometimes proximity, when you're close to a learner, they realize they are not doing something right. You can say, I redirect the learner by speaking to them, If that doesn't work, you could call the student aside, say a word to them, and so on and so forth. Maybe you can say at the end of the lesson, I communicate with the parent about the behavior of the student in that particular lesson. So all those are ideas about how you're handling the student who is being disruptive. But there are many other questions that could come up about classroom management, okay? They could even ask you, when I come into your classroom, what will I see? Okay? So if that question comes up, they're not looking for you to tell them you will see charts, on the wall, or you see something in my board, they ask you what will we see in the classroom, they actually are looking for what is going on in your class in terms of teaching and the learning process. So you can talk about how you engage your learners right from the beginning of your class to the end of your class, because that is part of management. A big deal of managing students is you don't let students stay idle within your class, because if they are idle, they will get themselves busy with other things, right? So you want to keep them busy from the minute they enter your class until when the bell rings, okay? Building positive relationships with students is a big thing in the US, like you will learn when you land here. I'll tell you, if students know you care about games, you care about their sports, you care about their clubs, they will also listen to you in class. So offering, looking for opportunities to create some relationship with the student. And with this, I mean, just showing genuine interest in their lives will actually make an impact also within your class, okay? The other big area that the interviewers could be interested in is how you handle professional documents, so to speak. All right. So things like the syllabus, which actually in the US is called standards. All right. How you do your lesson planning. So they will ask you a question like, how do you prepare for your lessons? So if they ask you, how do you prepare for your lessons? Do not rush to begin talking about the worksheets and the videos. Of course, that is part of it, but the best way to begin this is to show that you are actually aware about professional documents like a curriculum, right? Standards. Because when preparing your lessons, I know that's where we begin. We begin by developing learning objectives, which we get from the standards. So tell them that, and then you can say, then I go ahead to prepare my materials. Of course, you can talk about how you differentiate the materials based on the different, depending on the learning abilities of the student in your classes. Okay. So yeah, professional documents, I think usually comes up. So if you ask one of these questions, link it up with how you professional documents to help you to plan for your lessons. Of course, after that, then you can talk about, doing your videos, doing your projects, gathering your materials, worksheets, and so on and so forth. Okay. Assessments could also come in, like how do you gauge, or they could ask you, how do you tell the students have understood the material that you're teaching in class? Okay. So they are looking to see if you do some kind of assessments in your class. Okay. So the question might not be direct, like, how do you assess? They could ask other ways, like, how do you tell that students are actually understanding what you teach? So you need to show that you do some kind of checking within the lesson. So many things, the very simple ones, even asking students to do thumbs up if they understand something, thumbs down, is a way of checking for understanding within the lesson. Questioning them, asking questions, giving a quiz at the end of the class. And of course, maybe the summative test towards the end of a unit or the end of the semester or term, and so on and so forth. You could get questions about how you use students' performance to prepare your teaching. So, you can talk about how you use that data to reteach if need be, to maybe target specific students for help, and so on and so forth. All right. Let me see what I have next here. So I think I've talked about using curriculum and standards. Yeah, if they ask if you are familiar with the US curriculum, of course, maybe you may not be familiar. No offense, even if you say no, you will have enough opportunities to learn when you come to the other side, right? So cultural differences, this is a very big thing. US classes are very diverse, right from even how students look. For example, my country, Kenya, when I came here, sometimes our schools have so many rules, like you can't keep long hair, for example. Even the looks could be a big thing in our classrooms. So you come to the US, see my picture here, students have all manner of hairstyles, so a lot of what you see, you will probably be okay to not make like personal comments, So there's a lot of diversity, even right from the looks. So you could be asked questions based on, that kind of thing, diversity and respecting, people's individual differences. Yeah, so if you come and the student has pierced, noses, ears, do not be quick to, make your personal comments. But if these questions come up, you can talk about how you allow for these differences. By the way, it could even be language. You could be asked a question like, so you have a student who is still learning English in your class. How do you help that student to learn chemistry or mathematics or your subjects? And they do not yet have enough English skills, okay? So that's one example of, differences. So you could say how you print your notes, with pictures so that a student can follow, simplifying the language, working with teachers of language, to help you adapt the material to the level of the language, students' language, and so on and so forth. So those are kind of questions that could come up based on these. If you are coming under J1 visa, for example, they could ask, so what culture things will you incorporate in your classroom? Or how will you incorporate your culture in your lessons? So you can talk about working with examples from your country. If you're into literature, how will you use Kenyan literature, Kenyan language, and so forth and so on. So what about students with some learning disabilities? Those questions could come up, or maybe even gifted learners, like students who will work faster than everybody else. How do you take care of them in your class? So expect such questions and have in mind what you can say. So talk about how you offer extra support, how you differentiate the work for them, how you simplify the learning materials for them, How do you offer oral support if it's necessary, allowing for more time for students to finish the assignments if they need it, and so on and so forth, okay? All right, the next area that you could get questions is this one here. Oh, let's talk about tech. Technology, we said, is a big thing. So you will be asked questions like, what technology are you familiar with? All right. So please don't say you're not familiar. Don't tell the interviewers you're not familiar with any technology. I don't think that would be, a very good response. Because even using your phone, for example, you just need to show how you use it to help your lessons, all right? So, but talk about technology you're familiar with. So your laptop, how do you use it? Mostly they want to see how you work with your technology with learners. not only for you as a teacher, but even how you work with that technology to help students learn. All right. So if they ask what platforms you have used, mention them if you have used them, Google Classroom, even Zoom and Google Meet, you know. By the way, let me say this. If you're really not, if you've not used any of these platforms before, do not wait until this question comes up in that interview. How about you go organize something? It doesn't even have to be with your regular students in school. How about you get a few of your nieces, nephews, you know, try to do something on using one of these learning platforms, see how it works. Try to present a lesson like on Google Meet, like I'm doing today, see what the challenges are, so that if these questions come up, then you actually have something genuine to say and you can talk from your actual experiences, okay? So many questions. How do you ensure technology is used effectively in the classroom? So you can talk about giving very specific instructions to students, because you don't just tell them, go online and look for these. You have to like give clear instructions to your learners on what they need to do, right? And of course, you have to monitor them. You can't just leave them. They will go to sites you don't want them to go to. So monitoring to check the work is being done, moving around your class, you know, addressing any issues. All those things are things you could talk about. Okay, let's talk about the big thing that has come around, AI. My number 4 here. I do not know if they have begun asking teachers this question, but I can guess those of you who do interviews this year, this question might be asked because AI is becoming a big thing. AI is actually being adopted into some US classrooms. So you could get questions based on AI. They could ask you, which AI tools are you familiar with? Okay. So teachers, I really hope at least by now you have used ChatGPT. It's very common. If not, today before you go to sleep, just type in ChatGPT into your browser, see how it works. Yeah. The new one from China, DeepSeek, works so much like ChatGPT. But there are actually some apps that are coming up that are more tailored towards the classroom and teachers. I would want, if possible, all of you, please go and try Magic School. I think the website is magicschool.ai. Go try Magic School. It's very good. It can create for you lesson plans at the click of a button. You know, worksheets, so many things, just at the click of a button. I think every teacher needs, you know, to learn how to use these AI tools. So if you've not tried them, try Magic School. It's free. At least there's a free version. There's a paid version that has more features, but the free one is actually enough. It has a lot, you know, it's a lot that you can learn from. So that if they ask you a question on AI, at least you have something you could say about, you know, how you use AI. You know, things like developing your lesson plans is not a crime to use AI to help you to develop your lesson plan, to give you ideas on questions or materials to use, and so on and so forth. There's one called idea.app, which is very good for math teachers. And guys, let me tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone else. I actually prepared my material here using AI. So this is our secret. Keep it to ourselves, okay? Using Gamma, there's a platform called Gamma, you know, very nice presentations which you can actually make for your class, okay? Don't tell anyone else that I did this. All right. School and community engagement is the other area that questions will come about, and especially parents. I think the big thing is parents. So you will be asked like questions like, how do you communicate with your parents? Okay, or how do you involve parents to make sure their learners are successful in learning? A question like that. So many things you could say, but say that you make phone calls maybe when necessary, especially if there are behavior issues, emails when you need to, if you do newsletters, okay, or using school authorized messaging app. I'm saying school authorized because, please don't say you chat with parents on WhatsApp. Like, it's not really a personal thing. So it should be some platform that the school has censored, something that, is acceptable to use. Even phone calls, we don't really call parents from our personal phones because of so many issues that could arise. So you call them from a school phone, you email them from your school email, not your personal email. You use messaging apps that have been brought about by the school or the school district, and so on and so forth. So if a question comes about how you involve parents, you can mention how you bring parents along, including things like holding parent meetings, one-on-one meetings. Occasionally, I know schools organize those ones, but they will be asking what you've done in Kenya. So talk about those ones. But in the US, actually, parental involvement becomes more important than, say our countries like Kenya, where there are so many boarding schools, because in the US, probably 99% of the schools are day schools. So students are going home every day. So you really need the parents to keep in touch with what is happening, if there are discipline issues, if a student is not turning in assignments, if they are lagging behind on something, and so on and so forth. Yeah. All right. Let me see what was the final one, maybe. All right. You could get questions on professional development, like how do you stay current with the best practices in education? So talk about professional development courses maybe you take, attending conferences, seminars, being a member of professional bodies, if you are a member of some, reading educational journals, and so on and so forth. There are many things you could use to answer a question on professional development. All right. So guys, those are the areas I personally feel questions could come about. Of course, we do not have a lot of time, so I couldn't put in too much on my slides. I just wanted to give you an overview of, some kind of questions you could get. So my advice is just dig deeper, especially if you have an interview coming up. So using the ideas I've given on these general areas that are covered, you can go learn more, research more, go to YouTube, see what other teachers have suggested. Go to ChatGPT, type in that question. I'm preparing for a teacher interview. What kind of questions would I expect to get? And possible answers. Those AI-based platforms will give you a lot of information. So at the end, most likely they will say a few things, tell you, wait a few days, we will get back to you. And then they could ask you, so do you have any questions for us? And this is where I was saying it's good to have one or two things in mind that you could ask. Of course, if something comes up during your interview, then ask that question. But if nothing comes from the interview, you could ask things like, what kind of support do you give to international teachers? All right. Or you could even ask, are there other international teachers in your school, so that you learn, if you have some kind of company, so to speak. All right. Or you could ask, what professional development opportunities does the school or the school district give to international teachers, or even to teachers in general? Or what kind of sports does the school do, so that I know where I might fit in when I come back? So all those questions are good to ask. I don't think it's a good idea asking about the money at this, at this point. So do not ask how much will I be paid during the interview. I think you can preserve that question maybe to email to agency if it's really something pressing to you, or you can email the HR later as a personal question. Otherwise, it may seem as if you're interested in other things that are not too much into you being a teacher. All right, guys. So that's what I had in terms of, sharing a few ideas about what I feel might come up within your interview. Okay. So let me go back to my page here. All right. So maybe what we can do next is, of course, I wouldn't claim that my presentation would be like 100% adequate. I think for me, what I wanted to do is just, like point you to a certain direction. Hopefully, moving forward, then you are able to, build on our discussion today. But I think it's a good time to hear what you think. Maybe questions if there are any, and then hopefully we can close it up in the next not so many minutes. All right. So if you got a question, maybe I can see already some hands up. If you click down there, there's some place where you can show your hand. Then I'll give you a chance. And then, by the way, because we are at different levels, if you have a question that is not even necessarily on interviews, it could be something else, I'll be glad to try answer your question. Because I know some maybe are just starting, some are way ahead, some are waiting for interviews. Someone could be just waiting for the visa interview. I'll try, hopefully you'll be able to answer all these questions. All right, Wycliffe Mkangi, what's your question or comment?
No.
Wycliffe Mkangi, you need to unmute, then ask your question. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to find out the details of when the interviews will be. Join a little late.
Okay, so Wycliffe, your mic is cutting off completely. I didn't quite get your question.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, Wycliffe, just check if you're able to get more stable internet, then you can ask your question again. In the meantime, let me have Judy Washira. Hope I said that right.
Okay, thank you. Mine is to, first of all, appreciate you for the presentation that you have just done. It's quite,
thank you, Judy.
I would say it was quite educative. My question is, have the interviews begun? And what would you advise the people who are now in the stage of looking up for the recruitments? Because like me, I'm in that stage.
Yes, interviews have begun with some agencies. So what happens is these agencies are at different levels. Some agencies, say like Faces, they actually do their recruitments quite early. So states, I mean, some agencies have actually begun the school interviews. But again, there's really like no particular, it's actually not even so much determined by the agencies themselves. It's more like determined by the schools, because what the agencies do is when they ask you to like make your own video, they send those to the schools, or they put them in a platform accessible to the schools. So when the schools are ready, They will look at your video, they look at your documents, and then they request an interview for you. So that is going on. Another factor that really determines that is also your subject. Generally speaking, teachers who are in special education will get their interviews early. And the reason is districts are fighting, sort of, in quotes, they're fighting to get a piece of these special education teachers because, you know, it's a bit rare. So your subject also determines how soon your interview may come up. So demand really, so to speak. So all these are factors, but generally speaking, for some agencies, they have started the interviews, others have not started. So you can only be patient. If you have made applications with a number of agencies, just be patient. The season is beginning to pick up. I think it will be in climax around April, maybe. And then it begins to go down May, June, because by July, teachers are supposed to come in for the new year. So from now onwards, if you have completed everything with the agencies, just be ready anytime those interviews could be coming up.
Okay, thank you. Maybe some clarification. I have not applied through the agencies because I was looking up to getting hired on H1B.
Okay.
Do I really have to go through the agencies?
No, it's not compulsory going through the agencies. If you have applied directly to schools or school districts, then that's also an avenue. You will just need to wait to hear from them. Although I would say using agencies, if you ask me, I think it's probably one of the easiest ways. Sometimes using school districts, I mean, it's not bad, but you know, I would say probably you might have even a better chance if you work with the agencies. But the interviews will also be coming up, and of course, usually when you apply directly to schools, there might be other requirements like practice tests. Hopefully, you have done those. They
Yes,
put
I
you at a
have.
better position. But if you have done them and you've applied to school district, I'll say just wait and see if you get to hear from them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's have Jacob Kinua. What's your question?
Yes, thank you very much. First, I start by appreciating your presentation. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
So there's a tool that you have talked about which you use in curriculum delivery in mathematics. Could you kindly mention it again?
Yes. Well, it's an AI platform. It's called Edia, or is it Edia, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But I've put it in the chat box. So I personally use Edia to generate worksheets, math worksheets. It's very good with math. You know, ChatGPT and these others are more like, do I call them word-based? Like they're not really so much into math. I hope they will, you know, grow into math as they continue training them. But Edia is very good with math. Like it will, if you type in your particular topic, you can actually very quickly generate questions and take them to students in a few minutes. So you can exploit his Edia.app.
Thank you very much. The second question is on filling the experience verification form for South Carolina.
Yes.
The end date, do you use the Kenyan calendar which ends in November or the American calendar that ends in July?
Well, I would say I think it's better if you work with the American calendar, because if you say it's ending in November, then you come over in July, August. So probably you can just sign it in July, so that if you're coming in beginning of August, then you're beginning your experience now afresh.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Albert Nyawaka. Albert, you need to unmute first, then you can ask your question. Okay, Albert is gone. Let's have Ruth Anyango. Ruth, could you unmute and ask your question?
Yes, thank you. I have sponsor interview. So my question is, do you expect this similar questions like the one you've shared? Then after sponsor interview, that's when I'll meet school district, or after sponsor interview, I can just get my job offer?
That's a good question. Yeah, so what no, sponsors usually are not the final decision makers. So if you have a sponsor interview, usually the sponsor will not ask very many questions like what I have shared here today. Mostly for them, they actually make that call mostly to get to hear your language, because you know they want to be sure you can communicate with the American students. So I would say most of your questions most likely will just oscillate around the first ideas that I shared. You know, you could be asked to tell us about yourself, your teaching experience, and a question like, why do you want to teach in the US?
Okay.
So, but it's good to be prepared for anything in case, you know, they decide to ask more questions. But from my experience working with teachers as well as my own experience, the agencies will not ask so many questions. They just want to know you. Actually, those interviews mostly do not run more than 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So what happens after that is the agencies, that's like when you're actually beginning the process. After that interview, they will ask you now to maybe do a demo lesson, or maybe to do a video interview, you know, recording yourself, so that they can send it to school districts or principals. And then if the principals are interested in you, they can book an interview with you. And by the way, I really want to emphasize, when you're making those videos for those agencies, or maybe if a school district asks you to do a demo lesson or a self-recorded video lesson, because mostly they just give you some questions, then they tell you, you know, record yourself answering these questions. Please give it your best, okay? Remember my first point, like you're like a salesman, so sell yourself the best. I can tell you I think you remember me saying some people do not even do the interviews. Like they get hired based on that video. So if your video is very good, like really good, the school district may be thinking, we do not even want to waste time. We just want this teacher. If your video is bad, like it's not really good, I can tell you, you may also lose an opportunity just based on that video. So please, those who have gotten to that point and they ask you to do those videos, give them your best. Make sure you give it your best, really.
Okay.
Because sometimes I've looked at some videos from teachers, you know, and I'm like, okay, if I was the HR, would I really be excited about this teacher? And some teachers have also sent me videos, and I'm like, if this is what you can do, then, you know, I really want to have this teacher. So it can make a lot of difference, I can tell you. But for you, so once you do the sponsor interview, then, you know, there are some steps along the way, and then the principal's interviews will come down the line.
Okay.
Grace, thank you. Grace Amuka.
Hi, Benson. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you also so much for such an informative session. May God bless you for what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question about some of us that are in the waiting. We are still waiting. Like if you've done an interview, let's say a principal interview with a school district, with the HR of a particular school district, and then how long are you supposed to wait for the feedback? Because some of us have done, but the wait is becoming too long. We've tried to reach out to the sponsors, like if they have gotten any feedback from the school district, but the response is like that particular school district is still conducting the interviews. So how long can a school district conduct interviews? And if they are conducting these interviews, are they conducting in just one particular subject area, or are they conducting in a number of subject areas that is making them to take so long? Yeah, that is my question. I hope you've gotten it.
Yes, I've gotten it. And thank you so much. That's a very good question. So, once you do your interview, I would say it really depends. There's no fixed time within which you can hear from either the school or the sponsor, because the sponsors have different ways of working. Some agencies will not want you to talk directly with the school. Like they tell you, the school will give us the feedback and then we'll tell you the feedback. Some other agencies may not mind you communicating directly with the school. So you just follow what your agency wants. But so there's no fixed time. I would say if you've waited, to me, I would say, 2 weeks is a good time to wait, like 10 working days. If you wait 10 working days and there's no response, then I personally would do an email, follow-up email, to either the sponsor or the school if you have the contact to the principal. And if your agency has allowed you to do that, if you're not sure, just email the agency, ask the agency, I did my interview 2 weeks ago. I wanted to follow up what is going on, if you've gotten a response from the school. So I'd say giving them 2 weeks, I think, is a fair period to wait. What happens is usually they will recruit many teachers, not just for one subject. Like they might have planned 1 or 2 weeks of interviews with teachers from across the country, different subjects. So, and they might want to wait until they have interviewed everybody before they can, summarize and see who they are picking and then give you a response. So maybe waiting 2 weeks might be, a good time to wait. I'm not saying it's a cast on stone. If 1 week goes and you really feel like, I can't wait any longer, you can you can still email your sponsor. But I think 2 weeks is fair. At least don't follow up before 1 week is over, even if you feel very passionate about it. But maybe a week is good. I think 2 weeks is appropriate. In case you do not hear from them, follow up after those 10 working days. It's not bad to email the supervisors to hear what they are saying. Okay. I hope that answers you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. By the way, I know I have some teachers in the US in the meeting. If you are here, maybe you can type that you're here in the chat box. And if you are able to help me with some of these questions, I'd be happy to bring in teachers who are in the US, okay, to share your experience as well. All right, let's have Bilha, Lillian.
Yes, Ben, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
First, thank you for always informing us and opening our eyes. Now, I've had that principal interview.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Go on, Bilha. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, and some of the questions you've talked about are actually what I was asked.
Yeah, that's good.
And now I'm learning. Maybe I may not have given it my best. Like there's this question on teaching philosophy. Of course, I understood it just the way you said it. It meant what I believe.
Yes.
In the teaching process, and I was like, I believe each learner is teachable.
Yeah.
And therefore, given a chance, the learners can learn.
Yes.
So what I've realized, I didn't delve into how I ensure that each learner learns. Maybe by differentiation of the process, the content, and all that. Then there was this question that I would really like you to maybe tell us how to tackle it. I was asked about my discipline, philosophy. Yeah, and maybe I struggled with it. I would like to hear what your sentiments are about it. Then I was also asked about what resources I would require to enable me teach effectively in class.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow,
So
very.
Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, congratulations on doing your interview. I am rooting for you. I really hope they give you the chance to come over and help us do this. So discipline philosophy. So just like teaching philosophy would be really like, so what do you believe about discipline with the kids? So personally, I think I would take the approach of I would talk about how I am fair in terms of training students. Okay. So first of all, discipline being like immediate. Like if I see a student with an issue, first of all, I do my best to address it immediately. So the issue of immediacy. And then fairness, like, I try to be fair and as much as possible so that it's a uniform thing across the board for all the students. And then probably we could also talk about involving parents in helping to work with the discipline of their students. So you could also say that I also involve the parents. I talk with the parent about an issue that has come up with the learners so that they can also address it at home. So if you said something like that, I think it would be fair. But I will tell you, do not really worry about what you said and what you did not say, because you're not really getting like judged based on a single question. They'll be looking at the totality of so many things, your qualifications, the way you answered the entire of the interview, and so on and so forth. So even from what you've told us here, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Resources you will need. I don't know what you talked about, but the usual things we need in our classes. Maybe you may need books, you may need a laptop. You could ask them if they supply laptops or projectors or a smart board, and so on and so forth. So, but from your next person was Beatrice Ami.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm very glad to have joined your page from, I think, a couple of months ago. I'm a Ghanaian.
Oh, I'm happy to have a Ghanaian.
And I must confess that since I joined your group,
yes,
it has been very helpful.
I've
learned a couple of things that helped me through an interview a couple of days ago.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thankfully, I have been able to sail to the next phase of the application due to what I learned from your page.
Yes.
So I want to thank you very much for creating this page. and for accommodating everyone from every country that decides to join.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's what I just want to add.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much, Ami. I'm so glad you're making good progress, and I really wish you the very best. We have a very big community, by the way, of Ghanaian teachers. I have many friends from Ghana now. So it's a big team. You're welcome to join us in the US.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let me see who else is waiting online here. Emily Kimel. Emily, yes, you need to unmute first.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Benson, for your generous share.
Thank you.
Mine is like kind of a beginner question.
Yes.
I'm asking for those who don't know anything about US teaching. Is there any specific requirements you need to know and anything you need to know about the US teaching, like the websites where you can apply the jobs and stuff like that?
Yes, thank you. That's a very, very good question. So yes, let me see what I got here. So first of all, you need to join my Telegram group. I just shared a link to my Telegram group on the chat box. So what I do in that Telegram group is I share a lot of information about, coming to the US. It's an open group. You can ask questions, you get answered either by me or other teachers. That group has many teachers in the US. There's teachers from all over, teachers in different stages of the process. So you ask your question, you are able to get answers. And then the other thing I've done is I have this Telegram, not really Telegram, what do you call it? YouTube. I have this YouTube channel that I'm running. And what I do is I put videos together that I'm trying to get the link so that I can share it in the chat box. Let me see if I'm able to get the link right now. Okay, I think I found it. So I have I have this YouTube channel. It's called Diaspora Educators. So it's relatively new as well because I just started doing this, I think, end of last year, but it has like some 10 videos or so, which are about different aspects of coming to the US. Actually, just yesterday, there's a video I did yesterday. I think I've not even shared this link yet. I did a video yesterday about some 20 different agencies that you can use to apply to come to the US. Let me share the link to the video as well. So the last link I've shared there is about that video. It talks about 20 most responsive agencies. There's one I did some time ago. It's been some months down the line, about 10 free agencies. Actually, you may want to begin with the free ones, although they are also included in the one I did yesterday. It has about 10 agencies that do not have what do we call them, agency fees. It's not like it's absolutely free. There's some little cost on your end, but no agency fees. But there are also some 10 agencies that have some agency fees. I can tell you, if you apply with these 20 agencies, you really will be in a very good position. So my encouragement is join my Telegram channel. I shared the link. Join the YouTube channel. Subscribe, by the way. Subscribe. Then watch the videos. There's a lot of information about the agencies to apply with. Go to the websites. Put in your application. It's actually a very straightforward affair because once you put in your application, the agencies take over, and then they will keep telling you, now we need this, now we need that. It becomes very, very easy to follow along. All right, so I hope that helps.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's see who else has been waiting for some time. Brian Sealer. Brian, unmute, then you can ask your question. Okay, Brian is not coming up. So let's try John Ankolu. If I'm saying
yes, yeah, you are right, Mr. Benson. You are right. That is my name.
Okay,
John.
Welcome, John.
Yeah, thank you very much. And to start the whole thing, I want to say a very big thank to you and your team on the Telegram page. Mr. Benson, you are doing so great, and we appreciate your time and effort.
Thank you for the positive remarks.
Yeah, I'm John from Ghana, and
wow.
I'm also a high school mathematics teacher. In fact, I had an interview with EPI. I had an interview with one of the schools in Miami-Dade County School.
Yes.
And in February 6th. And today is 18th. I haven't heard any news from the school or the EPI team. So I'm so confused. If you could remember, I asked this question on the page, the Telegram page, and you told me to relax a bit because it is too early. And I'm getting nervous. I don't know what is really happening. And my surprise, the principal was like, he was lively, he was happy with my answers. The panel were happy. So I thought, John, I'm through with it. And yeah, I'm still waiting.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening.
Okay, John. Okay, so if you did your interview on, did you say 8th or 6th?
6th February.
Okay, 6th February. So today is it 19th?
Yeah.
Today is 19th. So it's just about, is it 13 days now? But I would advise you just send an email to EPI to follow up. Just email your sponsor, email EPI, ask them you're just writing to follow up on the interview you did about 13 days ago. You want to know what is just ask if they have gotten a response from the school.
Okay. But Mr. Benson, I want to know, does it take much longer than like it is now for like after interview to take like 2 weeks or beyond before you hear from them? Does it take that longer time?
Yes, it may take even longer than that, depending on how much the school or the district needs to do. But of course, if it stretches too long, it might mean maybe they gave the position to someone else. That's why I'm saying after 2 weeks, I think is fair enough to follow up, so that in case the district for some reason chose someone different, then they can let you know. Although what I have seen with many school districts is even when they do not choose you, they let your agency know, like, they let them know that they did not go with you, so that, you don't have to keep waiting forever. So it could take longer, but it's good for you to know. If for some reason they have not completed the processes, then EPI will tell you have not yet heard from them. So be patient. It can even take a month, even 2 months. I have had some people who have had some communication even after 6 months. So, I mean, there's really nothing cast on stone. It could take long, but I think my very personal advice is after 2 weeks, I think it's fair enough to follow up. At least let them tell you if they are going with you, or if they are still processing, they will tell you, hold on, we have not completed the process. and then maybe you can wait a little longer before following up again.
Wow, perfect. Thank you very much. And my last question goes with Faces.
Yes.
I also have an application with Faces, and they sent me, is it Madam Cindy Thompson, senior or something like that?
Yes,
Through
Cindy
school.
Anderson.
Yes, Cindy Anderson. She sent me an email that placement season has just started, and it is possible that Faces can just extend a job offer to a teacher without an interview. And I want to know if that is quite possible, because she said in the email that they've been doing that for a period of time now. They're able to extend a job offer without an interview based on your video.
Yes, I already said that is possible. It has happened for a number of teachers. So what did you say? Did you say Cindy wants to offer you a job?
No, she sent me an email about my application and told me placement has just begun, and it is possible that a school district might extend a job offer without necessarily interviewing me. And I want to know if that is possible, because one thing I know is US school normally schedule an interview before a job offer is being extended.
That is perfectly in order. We have so many teachers who have been hired without interviews. I'll tell you this. I don't know if you guys appreciate this enough, but some schools in the US are in total crisis for teachers. Some schools do not have teachers at all. Some schools are actually, in actual crisis. Like, I sometimes I say this and people think it's a joke. These days, they are even getting army officers, to teach, police officers to teach, as long as they have some college, some enough college credits. So the scarcity is real, and some districts feel so much under pressure, so that when they have a chance to hire teachers, they do not even want to waste time. As long as they see you have a B.Ed, they have seen your video that you can express yourself in good English. I mean, they do not even want to worry about so many things, because the kids are in class, they have to have teachers. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're given a job offer even without an actual interview. If your video is very good, you can actually get job offer without just this week, actually. Just this week, there's a teacher was telling us she got a job in Wisconsin. It's actually a H1B based job. She didn't do any interview, so those things are happening. That's why I was saying, if you're doing your video, please make it the best you can, so that who knows? Of course, if it's good, it will get you an interview, or it could even get you a job directly. All right. So thank you, John.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benson. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. Albert, I think, did I answer your question before? Albert, if you still have a question, maybe you can ask. Yeah, Walker.
Yes, thank you, Benson.
Yes.
I haven't asked anything yet. I was
okay, sorry. I might have mistaken you for someone else.
It's okay. You had given me time, but I was waiting for the right time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I get it now.
I have like two questions.
Go on.
One, if I'm applying direct to the school, particularly the ones which over H1B sponsors.
Yes.
And particularly, I want to be specific, the Dallas school. And there's this evaluation they are asking you pay to do.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, are you doing it to wait probability or that actuality that you get the job?
Are you talking about the foreign credential evaluation of your transcripts?
There is a TEA.
Oh, TEA, Texas certification.
Yes, that one, that evaluation, yes.
Okay, so yeah, because if you say evaluation, so there are many different types of evaluations. The first evaluation every teacher needs to do, whether it's in Texas or some other place, is the Foreign Credential Evaluation, FCE. So anyone who has studied outside the US, like probably all of us here, you need to do the FCE, the Foreign Credential Evaluation, which is done by nurses approved companies like Spantran or WES or some other companies. So that one, everyone has to do it, and usually the cost is on you as a teacher. It costs anywhere from $150 to about $300. If you apply with Spantran, now called the evaluation company, there are actually some discounts link which you can use to just pay $150 for those. So that one, everyone has to do it. Now, if you're applying in Texas, I would say is a bit strict, if I would call it that way, in terms of the requirements they need for teachers, because they want you, number one, to have language tests, IELTS or TOEFL test, and they are pretty strict about those courses. Although I think earlier these years, they kind of lowered their standards a little bit. Probably they're also feeling the pressure for, getting teachers. But they still need them. But some countries are exempt. Like I know Kenya got exempted from the language test this year. In the past, you had to do those language tests. But beginning this year, Kenya has been included in the list. I think Ghana is also exempt and a few other African countries. So if you belong to the test exempt countries, you don't need to do the test. You just need to tell them, I'm exempted. I think that requirement, and probably the one you're talking about, is they ask you to get certified by the Texas Education Agency. I don't know if it's agency or authority or what that E stands for, but it's the Department of Education in Texas. So you just need to go to the website, click on where they certify the international teachers. They will ask for some requirements, like they will need the Foreign Credential Evaluation, the FCE. I'm not sure if they will ask you to do the what do you call them? The subject tests, but they might. There's a subject test called Texas, which again you have to pay for. So if they ask you for that, then again, you'll need to pay for it. But my advice would be just go to their website, check the requirements for international teachers. So that one does not assure you of anything. That one is not a job offer. It's just one of the requirements. What will that do is if you continue and you're able to get the certification in Texas, then you're free to apply in all the districts within Texas, like you become employable in Texas. That's what it means. But it doesn't mean that you're getting a job offer. It's just like the way, you get the certification, teacher certification in your home country. Okay, I hope that makes sense.
Okay, that is it. My second question is,
yes.
How long does screening take for TPG? When they send this, they send you a number, then they ask to add them to WhatsApp, and they say they're screening. And what's that screening?
Okay, so screening is usually looking at your documents, look at everything they have asked you to give, transcript, degrees, recommendations maybe. So usually that's what they are looking at to see if it fits with their needs. In terms of time, no one really knows. There isn't a fixed time. What happens is sometimes they respond very fast, sometimes they take longer. I will tell you, there are many factors. Sometimes it also depends on your subject. Like I said, if it's something that they feel is really in demand, like, special education, you could see a special education teacher has gotten a response, and you is in math or science or some other subject, you're still waiting. So there's really no fixed time. There are so many variables. the only thing you can do is just be patient. Usually they will, even if it takes time, they will still get to your application and they will give you some kind of response. At least one thing I've seen with many of these US agencies is it's not like in many of our countries. Where I come from in Kenya, if you apply and, you know, these guys don't even tell you that they received your application. But with so many of these agencies, they're actually so kind to come back and tell you we received, but you know, you don't qualify because of 1, 2, 3 things. We wish you well, and then you can move on with your life. So I would say just be patient, continue waiting. They will get to your application. But if you're just starting and you've not applied with many agencies, as you wait for TPG, just apply with more agencies so that you're casting your bread in many waters. You're not putting your eggs in just one basket.
Okay, my last one is just a simple one. I'm asking, when they say they pay you depending on the experience,
yes,
which experience, the day of graduation or the years you've worked?
Is the years you have worked.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, but those years that you have worked should be after your graduation, so that if you worked as a teacher before graduation, then those years will not really count. But all the years that you've worked after you got your bachelor's degree, then those years will count towards your experience, towards how much you make as a teacher.
So the experience must be specific as a teacher, or you worked somewhere, then you came back to teaching.
No. It's about if you went out there to sell ice cream, if you were selling ice cream for 5 years and then came back, taught for 5 years, then you have only been in the class for 5 years. So they will only consider your teaching experience as a teacher. They don't look at selling ice cream.
Okay, thank you, Benson. We appreciate you.
Hello.
Okay. Thank you so much. Julius looks like he's burning with a question. Julius, what's your question?
Thank you very much, Benson.
Yes.
My question is on how to create a profile at ATS. I don't know if the question has been asked by someone else because I've just joined.
Which ATS?
I really don't know. It is someone who was telling me she's in US that I need to create a profile with the ATS, something of that sort.
Okay, I think you need to get clarification about which or what ATS they are talking about. Because probably they are talking about a certain school district or maybe some agency. So just go back to that person, tell them to send you the link to the company or agency they are talking about, then you can go to the website. Usually it's usually a straightforward thing. If you go to the job website of either an agency or a school district, you just go to the careers page, click on apply, and you can set up your profile.
Okay, thank you very much.
But you really need more information from the person who sent you that information. Okay, let's hear from Dr. Meshach Ambani.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you, Benson.
Yes.
My question is just one.
Yes.
What are the age limits? Like, do we have age limits for maybe one to be accepted to go to the other side?
Okay, that's a good question. So I'd say there's really, as long as you have not retired, like you have not hit, say, 60 years, I think you're in a very good place. Was it last year or was it early this year that we got a teacher from Kenya who is 58, I think so. And she was able to come, she got a job with IAG agency, and she came over at 58. Some agencies may have, their own, say, limits, which they don't publicly talk about. I can tell you, if you go to these websites, there's no website that talks about age. Probably they don't want to be quoted on the age thing. But even if one agency declines you an aspect of age, I would really say it's not a uniform thing across the country. So if one agency doesn't take you because of your age, most likely you succeed with another agency. Of course, if you have hit 60, probably maybe get a different visa, maybe visitor's visa or something else. I think at 60, maybe they may not take you, but below that, I would say you actually have a real chance, because we have, a testimony from a teacher who is 58 and she's here with us. So yeah, you can stretch it that much. All right. So
okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me see if I can get a few questions from YouTube, so that my YouTube family doesn't feel left out. When is the peak time for school interviews? So school interviews, they actually run throughout the year, school interviews, but the highest time, peak time, is from now. So right now we are entering the peak season, anywhere from March, April, May. We can say those are the months that have the highest recruitment period. March, April, May, because now school districts have, they are taking stock of teachers who want to come back the next year. They see the gaps they have. So it's now beginning to intensify. So March, April, May, be on the lookout. So June, things begin to cool down. July, things cool down. Of course, July, August, teachers are coming in. But those interviews will still go on. Even in July, some teachers will be recruited in July, August, although things will be cooling down by that time. And then new teachers come in July, August, begin the school year, and then they begin the process all over again, preparing new teachers for the following school year. So just be on the lookout. We are entering the peak season. So right now, just be on the lookout for your emails. You could, if you've reached the final stages, you're ready to hire, be on the lookout. You could get school interviews. So how long does one get feedback from an interview? I think I talked about that. There's really no fixed time. But if you finished a week, 2 weeks really, and you've not gotten a response, just follow up. If you're too anxious, you can actually even follow up after a week. But my personal advice would be just wait 2 weeks. I think it's not a very long time to wait. Okay. Okay. How much cash should you advise one to have when coming to the US? How much cash? I'd say it's a good idea to have about, maybe $5,000. $5,000, I think, is a good amount to have when you're coming to the US, because so you need some money to pay for your house, pay a deposit plus 1 month rent. Depending on where you go, houses can be very expensive or not too expensive. If you come to, cheaper states, like where I am, South Carolina is not really like one of the very expensive ones. Or maybe Virginia and, anyway, even within the same state, depends with where you're going. So probably $1,000, $1,500, $1,600 plus deposit, that might do. If you're going to California or New York, houses are way more expensive. So probably you may need $10,000 or more. So it depends with the state you're going to, but I would say, so you need to talk to your agency. Depending on where you're going, you need to it will determine how much money you need to have. All right. But you need some money for your house, then you need some money to maybe buy a car or put a down payment for a car or to hire a car. Because again, depending on where you're going, actually most of the US doesn't really have functional public transport. If you are in luck to land in a town, you might have some kind of public transport, but for many teachers, you actually need your own car. So that is what consumes your money when you come in right to the US before your checks begin coming in. Luckily, in many places in the US, they actually pay every 2 weeks. Okay. Some places pay monthly, but most places pay every 2 weeks. So you might come in and get your paycheck in 2 weeks, which would mean you don't you don't spend too much. But because there's also, a lot to do when you come in, like you have to go to the police for fingerprinting, you need to do, get social security numbers and so on and so forth. So it's good to plan to have a whole month where you will spend your own money. That's why it's good to have $5,000, $6,000, even $10,000 if possible. But I can say if you come in with less than 5,000, sometimes it might be a strain on you, depending on where you go to. So talk to your sponsor. If you have friends in the US, talk to us about where you're going. By the way, the good thing is the international community of teachers is growing a lot. Talking of my own country of Kenya, we have actually a WhatsApp group for teachers from Kenya. Right now, I think we are like 400 teachers, so from different states. So we might be able to connect you with teachers on the ground. You might be able to get some kind of support. So always get in touch. If you are from other countries as well, you can try see if you can, get people who might help you. Maybe you might get ways of saving some little money here and there, but definitely if you're planning to come, just begin saving or begin thinking about where will I get some $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to help you settle down on the other side. Okay. All right. So, guys, I think we should be closing. Who has not asked a question? I think many of these names, I don't know if you still have, if you had asked and I give you a chance, maybe you can remove your hand so that I see the rest who have not asked questions. Joshua Baby.
Yes, yes. How are you, Benson?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to talk to you one-on-one.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm disturbing you for a while, asking all manner of information. So,
No problem.
as a friend from Ghana had said that, okay, Faces sent to us an email.
Yes.
It's called the scoop, letting the approved teachers on the norm.
Yes.
Yeah, so they assured us that we just keep looking out at our emails because we are entering the recruitment phase, and some schools may offer direct offers, job offers. Whereas some principals will maybe they want to have an interview. So we keep looking out at our emails, and they gave us the emails, a specific email. For example, for interview, she quoted his name, Cindy something. But for the direct offer, he also gave us the email. Yeah. So my question was, if it happens, because okay, we have already approved for this for placement for this academic year. Does it mean all of us, all the approved teachers, they are supposed to be placed this year, or maybe they can be pushed to another year, or what happens? Because I know after the end of this academic year, faces start processing other application for next year. So what happens? Are you assured? Is there a guarantee that you'll be placed in this academic year?
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. So the unfortunate answer, if I can put it that way, is no one is able to assure you about a job. Even the agencies cannot assure you. And the simple reason is actually not really completely dependent on the agency. The final decision makers is the school district. Okay, is the school district. They're the ones who make those decisions if they want to have you as a teacher within the district. So the only thing the agency can do is just put out your qualifications, your video to the school district. If they are interested in you, actually some people are even placed on that list, and then the whole year goes without any school expressing interest in them, unfortunately. For different reasons. That's why I'm saying make your video good, because you're competing with teachers from all over the world. Give your interview the best, prepare yourself. You're competing with teachers from around the world. So even if school have shortages and whatnot, of course, they also want the best teachers. Okay, so it's real competition. There's nothing assured. What I know from faces is if you don't succeed in one school year, they push you to the next school year. And so the following year, they will again try to get you a place. But they do not keep those records forever. Probably if you don't succeed in 2 years, they will delete your application, and then you have to start afresh. So what I would say is, for some reason, if you don't get placed, you don't get a school within this year, then when the next cycle begins, all you need to do is just send an email to the company, like email Cindy, email Caleb, or the other person who is you are in touch with, or leave them a note in your application process, like, I didn't get a chance last year, but I'm still interested this year. Then from that point, they will tell you what you need to do. If they need any fresh documents, they will tell you. If you need to make a new video, they tell you, and so on and so forth.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. So yeah, just fingers crossed. Anyway,
Yeah, so
nice.
just be on the lookout. That's the best you can do, but really, no one can really assure you about that.
Okay.
Actually, even when the school gives you a job offer, you're still not in the US. A lot still has to happen. You have, to book the visa interview. You have to go face the visa consular officer. Consular officers will again have to decide if they are giving you a visa or not. So even at that point, some people still get disappointments. Even when you come to the US and you get into the line for the immigration to sign your passport, if something happens and they feel they do not want to welcome you into their country, they could still, for some reason, block you. So, things could change anywhere along the way. So it's good to keep an open mind. But, if your records are clean, everything is clean, then you don't have anything really to worry about. Just be hopeful and pursue different companies, pursue different agencies, apply directly to school districts if you can, all these different avenues, then wait for the best.
Okay, thank you very much, Benson.
Thank you. Let's see Ruth, Jerry.
Hi, Benson.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, thank you so much for this platform.
Yes.
Now, I just have a question. I just did my application with various agencies.
Yes.
But there's this question that they ask as you start doing the filling in about have you ever used another name? And I happen to have, my passport has a different surname to my academic documents, all my academic documents. So I'm wondering, do I have a chance with this?
So your
or how do I even prove that this name in my passport is the same person in my academic documents. It's just the surname that varies.
Oh, the last name?
Oh?
Okay, so it's just one name that is different.
Yeah. Like I have Mwangi in my passport, I have Karuga in my academic documents. But all the other two names are the same.
Okay, so okay, I'll say that's a bit kind of tricky because different names could imply a different person. I think my advice at this point would be just apply. You said you've already applied.
Yeah.
So have you gotten any feedback about, are they
No,
concerned
I just
about
did it like a couple of days ago.
who? Oh, you just did a few days ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say you just continue with the process. If no one raises an issue, then just go on. If they asked if you have used a different name, then you can say yes and type in your name as it is in the other documents. And then you can write how it is in your passport. Yeah, because I don't know, probably changing your passport is going to be a different, kind of a struggle.
Yeah.
So I would say just apply and see if they do not raise an issue, then go on. If they raise an issue, then you can ask them what you need to do for you to be acceptable to them, and then they can advise you.
Okay.
But I know when have you done your credential evaluation?
Yeah, through Spantram I have.
So which name did you use with your Spantram?
The one in my academic documents.
Oh my goodness, because I was just about to advise you, just go with what is in your passport, because because at that point, I know Spantran asks you which name would you want to use in your FCE, and probably they would have accepted you to use the one that is in your passport, so that now your FCE would have aligned with the passport. But if you have already done the evaluation, then I think you just do the application and see what the agencies say, and then you can pick it from there. If you see if it becomes a concern, you can email Spantran and maybe ask for a review of the name. But at this point, I would say, in my opinion, I think it's better if you do the application first.
Okay.
And then see the kind of responses you get.
Definitely, I'll get a response. Whether
yes,
negative
definitely you get some kind of a response. If they tell you, if they are comfortable, then just move on as if there's no problem. But if they raise issues, then you can figure out how to change one of those documents from there.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Must someone have a degree to be a US teacher? Yes, the minimum in the US is a bachelor's degree. So if you have a diploma, what in the US they call an associate's degree. If you do not have a 4-year degree, please plan on how you can get one. You may have to go back to school. And by the way, if you're going to school right now, my advice is, if you can, please take special education if you're still planning to come to the US, because that's what will give you the biggest opportunity, if you ask me. Okay? So even if you're a language teacher, you can do special education with languages. If you're a history teacher, you can do history with special education. If you're science, you can do science with special education. So basically, a bachelor's in SPED will open doors for you in the US. Okay? But you need a 4-year degree. Let me see which other questions were asked in the chat. What is the minimum IELTS score? Well, the scores will depend on the district. Like each district has its own score of what they want. For example, if you go to Texas, I know you will see their own, what the minimum they require. I think I said if you're from Kenya, you really don't need to do those tests right now because they began to exempt the country early this year. I think if I'm not getting it wrong, I think Ghana has been in the list for some time. And a few other African countries. Surprisingly, even Uganda, I believe, is in that list. There's this thing, I think Kenyans believe that their English is better than Ugandans, maybe. I don't want to raise a fight between the two countries. Okay, so does South Carolina have a teacher crisis so that we can be hopeful? Okay, maybe I used a strong term like crisis. Maybe I should, shortage. There's shortage all over. There's shortage all over, by the way. I would say every district has some kind of shortages, So yes, there's hope in South Carolina, and there are many agencies that recruit for South Carolina. So hopefully something comes up for you. Could you provide us some of the schools that are in crisis? Okay, so the schools don't announce that they are in crisis, so really I may not be able to tell which is which, but these schools, schools all over have shortages. Let's say they have shortages of teachers. I shared a video, 20 schools that, recruit H1Bs. You can apply to those school districts, see what happens. By the way, if you do the praxis tests, let's say you get more freedom to apply with more school districts because it's usually a requirement to get certified in many schools. But if you're looking to get through with one of these agencies, then, those praxis tests are not really compulsory. But if you really want to go like full scale, just applying directly to schools, then the best approach, in my opinion, is just plan yourself and take the praxis test. So you need a praxis test for your subject area. So if it's math, you need to do a math practice or chemistry practice and so on and so forth. And then there's usually one on principles of teaching and learning. But again, it can also be very tricky, with these things. The best approach would be first to decide which state do you want to work with. Like, South Carolina, for example, go to their Department of Education website, see the requirements of being certified as a teacher, see which practice they want you to do, or better still, communicate with the person in charge. Usually, if you go to those websites, there is the head of HR, or the person in charge of teacher certification. You'll see their emails. You can send an email, ask them, I have my foreign credential evaluation, send it to them. I want to be a certified teacher in this district. What do I need to do? Get the requirement, get which practice they want you to do, then do it. Get a certification. You may be asked to pay some money, $50, $100, $160, and so on and so forth. Get the certification. Then you can go full scale applying to school district, those who want to go that route. I think kind of more work than the agencies, but I think people, choices are out there. You really choose what you want to do, all right? The good thing is once you're certified in one state, like South Carolina, then you can easily get a certification for another state. There's what we call equivalence. They can allow you to work in North Carolina. They may ask you to do a few more things, but you can carry your certification around the country in different states, okay? So I was trying to answer the person who was asking about the crisis. All right. All right, guys, do I have anyone who has not asked a question before I close this? CT, your hand is up.
Thank you, Ben, for this opportunity.
Yes.
Now, I wanted to ask something. I'm not sure if it has been asked. Let's say you have succeeded with one agency, you've gone all the way to the visa interview, and then unfortunately you get denied.
Yes.
And then somehow you get another agency again. Are you allowed to go through the process again? There's a period that you have to stay before again going to the embassy.
No, I think no. If you get with another agency, you can reapply for your visa. I'm not sure if they ask you to wait for some period, but I know some people, for example, get denied in Nairobi. The next month they apply in Rwanda and they go and get the visa there, or in Tanzania, Uganda, the neighboring countries. So probably if you get a denial in your country, you may reapply the same place, but I personally think maybe it's better if you can try a neighboring place. Take a bus, go to Uganda, try there. Actually, people even try, for the same agency. Like if I had an interview, I have my DS 2019 with Faces, and I get denied in Nairobi, then I just rebook the visa interview in the neighboring country. So next month you go to Rwanda, you try with the same position, and some teachers have done that and they have gotten an approval. So I think it's not cast on stone. People have tried different things and have worked for them. I'll say at this point, I'm not really sure if there's a waiting period, but I think some people have tried immediately in some other place and they have gotten the visas and proceeded to the US. But if you're interested about if there's a waiting period, maybe you can go to the US Embassy website and check. I really don't want to pronounce on that because it's not something I've checked up. All right, so guys, what is this? Yes.
Now, I have a question about the credential evaluation. How will I know that I qualify for high school or middle school?
How will you know you qualify for high school or middle school?
Yes.
The people who will answer you that question is the agency.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Your evaluation really will not tell you where you need to go. Usually they just say your equivalence is a bachelor's of education or a bachelor of science, with a concentration in math or whatnot. So after that, just apply with an agency. The agency will tell you where you qualify, whether it's high school or middle school. And I can tell you the US is a very interesting place because, you'll go to some state and they will tell you, okay, you don't have qualified for high school in South Carolina, where I am, for example. But if you apply with an agency that works in Florida, they don't mind. They place you in a high school in Florida. So like the requirements are not uniform across the country. You will see some states will maybe need you to have this particular unit, especially in languages. This is very common with English. For example, they will tell you in South Carolina, you need to have American literature, maybe British literature units. But if you apply to another state, as long as you have a bachelor's in language, they don't even care about those specifics. So this is a very diverse place with different needs. I would say just keep applying and see how it goes. All right, so guys, is there anyone with a burning question that I have not given a chance? Because from the hands I was seeing here, looks like I have covered everybody. If you're still there, I think you can just maybe unmute your mic, ask your question before we close it up.
Hello.
Yes, Jerry, Daisy.
Yeah, I'm asking about the amount for the verification of the documents.
Yes.
If I verify in one state, is it? Do I have to verify if I am applying in another district, or is it? What am I supposed to do?
Are you talking about the credential evaluation?
Yeah, exactly. Do I have? Do I have to, yeah, for the transcript, do I have to verify for every district?
No, no.
Once I
Once
verify
you
that
get,
one.
once you do one evaluation, you can use it with all the agencies. You can use it in all the states.
Thank you.
Just make sure you use a NACES, N-A-C-E-S, use a NACES approved body. The most common are Spantran, which has now changed the name to the Evaluation Company. Very good. They're very efficient. Usually, if you work with Spantran, within 10 days, you will get your evaluation. After your university submits your documents, you'll get an evaluation in 10 days. The only downside with Spantran is your evaluation will expire after 5 years. So after 5 years, you'll need to pay another $150 to get a new evaluation. There's another one called World Education Services, WES, W-E-S. WES is also very good. The good thing with WES is once they give you your evaluation, you can use it for life. It doesn't expire. The downside of WES is they can take 3, 4, 5 months before they do your evaluation. So sometimes it takes long for some people. There are people who have waited 2 months, 3 months, which I think is really a lot. So I think if you're really in a rush, it's better to use Spantran because of the turnaround time. But if maybe for some reason you feel like you're not make for this year, so you're preparing maybe for the next year, then you can use WES because once they do your evaluation, then you can use it for the rest of your life. When you go to American universities, you don't have to do it afresh. You can use it and so on and so forth. But with Spantran, if you don't make use of it within 5 years, then you need to start afresh. That's the downside.
Thank you. I asked about the links to the angels. Maybe you can share them in either in the
About what?
YouTube. The link, the agencies,
Oh, link to my
especially the free
YouTube.
ones.
Okay. Yeah,
No,
I'm
no,
very
no,
happy.
no. YouTube, I already have subscribed. I'm asking about the agencies, especially the free ones.
Agencies. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if you have applied with, have you made applications with any agencies or are you starting?
Not yet. I'm starting. I just want maybe the free ones. I can start with the free ones as I prepare to pay for the.
Yeah. So let me share this one in the. So the one I just shared has 20 agencies, but not all of them are free. Like half of them are free, half are not. Let me see if I can quickly get the one that has the free ones. The free ones, I had made a video, is 10 of them. So in the chat box, okay, the one I just shared is 10 free agencies. So when we say free, of course, you'll still need to do your own credential evaluation plus pay a few things along the way, but they do not charge you
What
the
did you say,
placement fee. The ones that charge usually charge from about $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. But the free agencies, they will not charge you an application fee. But you'll need to do your own credential evaluation. You probably need to pay for something we call service fee in case you get a job. It's $220. And of course, you need to pay for your visa interview, which is $185. So those kind of things. But if you're working with an agency that is going to charge you, then the cost is about, usually it's an average of about $5,000. But the more cost-effective ones is $2,000, $22, $25, $3,000 thereabout.
Okay, the last one. I'm checking in the chat box. I can't get it. Or you sent in YouTube. I don't know. Maybe you can confirm that. Then a friend of mine told me there are some agencies where they would not ask you for the charge fee until you get the job in the US. Do you have any such? Maybe you can recommend because
they don't charge you. They don't charge you placement fee.
they wait until you get the job. They wait until you get the job, maybe in the US, then they will maybe deduct from. Although that was that was a different case. I don't know whether you have such in the teachers.
I would say that doesn't happen a lot with teachers. Most of these agencies will need some money before they can bring you to the US. Because GEC, for example, I think they charge 2,900 before you come. CCUSA, they charge you like 2,000, maybe 200. Spirit, they charge about $5,000 or thereabout, maybe 4,000 and something. So there's not a lot of agencies that will bring you here, unless the free ones you're talking about, the likes of Faces, the likes of PACT, the like of ITES, the likes of IAG. So those ones will bring you, you know, without you paying a coin to them in terms of agency fees. But if you cannot get with those 10 that I shared, then you have to cough up some more money, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to one of those agencies. Actually, in addition to that, you'll be paying some money to them every year. They charge different amounts of fee. I think the cheapest is about 1,100 every year. Some will charge as high as 1,900 every year. If you fall for the if you're going with an agency that charges fee, so you'll pay some money before you get to the US, about $4,000 or $5,000, but you'll also pay some money every year. About 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 every year. So just have that in mind as you work with these different agencies.
Thank you. Lastly, maybe you can just send your Telegram link again. Maybe I came late. I didn't get it. I'll get back to you in the Telegram, please.
Okay. I've shared it a couple of times, but I don't mind sharing an extra time. One other thing I want to share with everybody is, you know, I've been trying to seek ways of how I can support teachers who want to come to the US even more. There's a program I just started. It involves you paying me some money to help in the application processes. Now, actually, it's not like I really apply for you, but what I have seen with time is, you know, just like we were saying, things like videos, they actually matter a lot. Things like your CV matters a lot. Things like your recommendations, they matter a lot. Things like how you prepare yourself for interviews matters a lot. So I have a sort of a mentorship program I'm doing. If you join my Telegram group, you'll be able to see that. It's a paid service. Guys, you will bear with me, of course. You know, I'll need to put a lot of time into putting you know, some time into looking at your documents and so on and so forth. So I charge some little money right now. Of course, I will hike it at some point, but right now I'm just charging just about $150. So what I do is, as you move along your process, I look at your CV. If I feel there are some areas we need to improve, I advise you on what you need to do to improve. I look at your recommendations from your recommenders. I suggest areas of improvement. I look at your videos when they come in. And guys, I can tell you, you know, I can tell you every time I get those videos, most times, really those videos need to be improved a lot. I suggest areas of improvement, and so on and so forth. And, you know, over the years that I've helped teachers to come over here, there's been many success stories, even if, you know, it's outside the platform that I just started, because that's a new thing. So if you feel you'd want to be part of that, there are details in my Telegram group. You can check it out. It's absolutely for those who feel they need that kind of support. You don't have to subscribe to that even in my Telegram group. It's a completely, you know, optional thing if you feel you need that kind of extra support. But otherwise, many teachers are actually able to go through the processes, do everything on their own and be successful. But from my experience, having someone else look at your documents, you know, suggest improvement, can also be of help to so many people. So if you want to take that direction when you join in my Telegram group, you're free to explore. You will see my page on the Star Support group once you join my Telegram group. So guys, thank you so much. I'm happy that you turned in for my webinar here today. Agriculture biology, what is that Lucy was asking? Is an issue. Can I do an evaluation with another agent and how can I influence the report? Lucy Kihara. Lucy, I'm not sure if we have talked before. Why do I feel like I talked to a certain Lucy on agriculture? Agriculture, AGED. So, but I will say yes. In the past, there has been an issue with AGED. The reason is many agencies in the US, they really do not understand the AGED, agriculture extension, the way maybe it's understood in Kenya in terms of it being a teaching degree. So when you do an evaluation, sometimes they evaluate it as an agriculture degree, and actually they evaluate it as, you know, as maybe bachelor's in agriculture, sometimes a bachelor's in education, but they take you to career education, which kind of makes it difficult to come back to science, biology, and so on. So what I've seen of some people is you can talk to your university. Actually, probably is 2-3 universities in Kenya that do their JED. So when you're sending when they are sending transcripts to Spantran, ask them to talk to Spantran, like, you know, include in the email some letter or maybe some information that this is actually a degree, an education degree, and that it qualifies you to teach biology and agriculture. You see, if they do that, Spantran, most times they will actually agree to follow such a leading so that they can put the 2 concentrations in your course. So they are going to say your course is equivalent to a bachelor's in education with a concentration in both biology and agriculture. So if you do that, it becomes very easy for agencies to actually accept you as a biology or science teacher. But if that is not done, then it becomes, it gives you more work. Like you need to convince the agencies more that you actually qualify as a science teacher, okay? So I think that's what happens. Also, Lucy, you're saying your degree is a diploma in biology and agriculture, then B.Ed science from Methodist University. In that case, then I don't think you'll have a problem. Just evaluate your B.Ed science. Hopefully, it's going to be fine. I don't think you'll have a problem. Okay. All right. So, guys, I think it will be good if we close it at this point. I'm hoping I've, if there are still questions, and I'm specialized in hearing impairment and autism, kindly advise how I can join the international family. Pamela, if your degree is in special education, then you're in a very good place. If you apply right now, I think I can almost tell you, I believe it's possible for you to get a chance still within this year because special education has a high demand. Yeah, so if you put in, you know, nice CV, nice recommendation, a good video, most likely you could be in the US by July, August, okay? But of course, you will need to do some work on your end, all right? Okay, guys, so we cannot do this, of course, in one sitting. I know probably there'll still be other questions. What is the best response when asked whether you're eligible to work in the US? They want, that question is about if you have a visa working in the US. So the best answer is no, you need visa sponsorship. Yeah, you need to tell them you need visa sponsorship. So guys, thank you so much for attending this webinar. Of course, it wouldn't be successful if you didn't come in. When I organize these webinars, you know, I'm just doing them out of the blues. I don't know if guys will show up, but thank you so much for showing up. And I'm really wishing you the very best. So go on, pursue those agencies, continue doing your applications. And I'm really looking forward to have so many of you here this year, July, August, and throughout the year and the years to come. I know we are in different stages. Some of you may still, be finishing your degrees, finishing a master's, So even if it's in 2026, 2027, the US right now is very open for teachers, very open for nurses, of course, you know that. But it's open for teachers. So just prepare yourself, do what it takes, and you're welcome to join us here in the US. So thank you so much. May God bless you. And I'll see you again in another webinar, hopefully maybe sometimes in March. Thank you and have a good day or good evening, depending on where you are. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
All right.
Thank you, Benson.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, those telling me that they came in late, there's going to be a record on the website, YouTube, so you can always go back and watch the entire thing. Otherwise, thank you and bye-bye.
Good time.
Thank you. Thank you.